The beautiful thing about Bitcoin, which is different than gold, is that Bitcoin must move to have value because the miners who expend energy to improve proof of work, to upkeep the system and process transactions.
The great fiat Ponzi is collapsing before our very eyes, crumbling under the immense weight of decades of bad decisions and reckless policy by governments, central banks, and other custodians of the system. According to countless prominent investors, economists, macro analysts, and other financial experts, the world is on the cusp of another global financial system meltdown that will force decision makers to make some hard choices or watch everything be reduced to chaos. On the issue of the massive debt load, experts believe central banks have only three options: keep printing until an eventual inevitable collapse, raise productivity enough to exponentially strengthen GDP until it is again significantly higher than the massive debt load, or declare an austerity program by drastically cutting down on spending. During a recent discussion with popular YouTuber Tom Bellew, BitMEX founder and former CEO Arthur Hayes argues that an austerity program is not only advisable, especially for developed economies like the United States, but it is also quite possible to achieve. He gives the example of Argentina, where President Javier Milei is currently conducting one of the most stringent restructuring exercises in decades. Arthur argues that the U.S. can follow in the footsteps of Argentina before things get completely out of hand, but that will require voters to make some difficult decisions. If we get a global financial reset that works, Arthur says he will change his entire outlook on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. As we bring you clips from this very insightful discussion, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Sidestep some of the negative impacts of austerity. And austerity is not uniformly distributed in terms of its pain, right? The people who have the most pain are those who have the most assets because the cash flows are depreciated under austerity. There's no more government printing press that's making these things go up in value. So if you did the thing that what you're told to do, get on the hamster wheel, work your ass off, and you were able to, through hard work, build up a fiat nest egg, and you recognize that this situation is untenable in terms of a very small slice of the population getting very, very wealthy while everyone else is suffering, then it behooves you to get out of those fiat assets. Now, previously, there wasn't really an easy way to do that, but now we have crypto. So now if you have fiat assets that are, your saving vehicles, or even just the little bit of fiat money that you're able to save, you can now sidestep. You can vote for austerity to rebuild your society into a more equitable situation, but at the same time preserve the little bit of wealth that you've been able to accumulate in the fiat system by porting it over to crypto. And then, once things have reset, then reevaluating, okay, well, maybe I am okay with owning a government bond that yields 10% if the economy is growing at 5%. That's a great return for me. I don't need to have this crypto thing. Maybe it's too volatile for me. Maybe I lost a little bit of money trading some particular coin. I just want to own some sort of bond in a government that I believe in and respect. Cool. Now, you're getting paid to take that risk versus now you're not getting paid appropriately to take that risk. The beautiful thing about Bitcoin, which is different than gold, is that Bitcoin must move to have value because the miners who expend energy to improve proof of work, to upkeep the system and process transactions, must have transactions to process so that they earn fees to pay for the electricity and the energy that they're expending. Versus gold is just a piece of, it's a thing. If the gold sits in a vault for the next 10,000 years, it's still gold. If no one trades another Bitcoin ever again, it falls to zero. So if we do get a centralizing force in Bitcoin that essentially hoovers up all the supply and doesn't do anything with it, then it goes to zero. That's beautiful. We have the out already. Bitcoin is worthless if you do nothing with it. If we do nothing with the tenets of peer-to-peer decentralized money, you've essentially just gone around in a circle and done nothing. And so I think that when people start to realize that we must do things for the ecosystem, we must use this currency, we must try to create a farm-to-table Bitcoin powered economy so that the currency moves in a circle around, humans and maybe AIs in the future, then we've done something. We've created the movement that creates the value for Bitcoin. If all we've done is stuffed it in our wallet or stuffed it in our retirement account on a BlackRock ETF, We've accomplished nothing. We have not done what Bitcoin is there to do, and therefore we will be rewarded with a fucking zero. And so I think that's absolutely beautiful. And that is, and then we can rebuild the system again. It's a common delusion that we created this computer game called Bitcoin, and now it has economic value. We can do it again and try to rectify the mistakes that we made in the first iteration. Is that a sustainable situation? Because that is what the fiat currency system is. Accumulate a bunch of assets, sit on your ass, do nothing, and because you're rich, you're going to be fine. Or you can accumulate a lot of Bitcoin, but you better do something with it. You better invest in companies or spend your Bitcoin on services to prove that this is a currency system that should be used, or do something to increase the value of this system. Otherwise, what you've spent all your effort doing is going to amount to nothing. You don't just get to sit on your ass just because you're rich. At the extreme. Obviously, we're not at that point right now. This is a very, down the line type of thinking, taken to the extreme. But I think that Bitcoin in its design solves this issue of the rentier situation, where you have a bunch of very lazy rich people who are rich because they're rich and they don't do anything else to keep them rich. It's like a pre-French Revolutionary, like essentially you had rentiers, which was the French government bond, and it paid, I don't know, 3 or 4% coupon, whatever it was, right? And so you basically had all the nobles did fuck all. They owned all these government bonds that paid all this interest, and the government just taxed the fuck out of all the serfs and everyone working on the farmland. And so then everyone else got to build their nice chateaus and sit on their ass, right? That's what I mean by rentier. It's somebody who just earns interest. They do nothing. Great life if you're able to have it, but you're not producing any sort of productive value for the economy. And obviously that was a corrosive factor that led to part of the reason that led to the French Revolution. That's what I mean when I say rentier. It's, I've got a lot of capital. I just own a security that pays me some interest, but I'm not doing anything else to contribute to society. I'm not making money essentially move. Similar to Bitcoin, if it's all just sits in an ETF, it's not moving, it's not doing anything. What have we really created? Okay, just another financial asset that's held in a portfolio. That's not why it was valuable in the first place. It was valuable in the first place because we had created a new way to move value throughout a human economy. So it must move. It must do something to be valuable, to prove that it's a peer-to-peer decentralized monetary system. If it's just sitting in a portfolio, then just own something else. But why own Bitcoin? You're not owning it for what it's there to do.
Arthur's argument about the roles of Bitcoin in crypto brings to mind one of Greg Foss's favorite statements about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the ultimate insurance against the great fiat Ponzi. When all else fails, Bitcoin will protect you against fiat debasement, helping to not only maintain your wealth, but also increase it over time. Please share your thoughts on Arthur Hayes' interview in the comments section below. Do you think the U.S. and other developed economies can enforce an austerity program even if it will devastate the rich and powerful? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.